Now, listen to me. Let me give you some hints as to what might work. Obviously, I want him to find a first, a second job in order to come up with payments. I haven't checked the Department of Labor guide to find out what he should have made, but given the amount of money, is there any good faith payment as part of this? Good faith payment means you come up with a loan.
Good faith payment. He wants to know if you could come up with any cash.
Yeah.
Lump sum payment.
Initially, I would have to probably try and borrow it from some friends, but I could do that.
How much, Bob? The court wants to know how much.
I would say I'd give a range between $10,000 and $20,000.
You're telling me that you do not have any assets of any nature anywhere?
No, my house was sold at foreclosure sale because I couldn't make payments. I really don't have any assets.
Do you have any credit line? Credit cards?
No, nothing. I can't. Again,
bank accounts, stocks, bonds,
nothing.
Money being held?
No, nothing.
For you by another person?
No, nothing.
All right. Why don't you do this? I'll give you about 20 minutes to talk to each other so you can come up with something and let me know what the proposed resolution is.
Yes, Your Honor. With regards to terms of the indictment, you were looking for 2 counts? That would be
2 or 3 counts. They have to be different victims,
yes,
different dates. I don't want this case to come back here. I want to be done with this. That's why I want him to come up with a reasonable amount of money. One of the things that will put him on probation will be a meaningful attempt to make these victims whole. If this is going to be a paper judgment, you know something? The probationary term is not going to help us.
That wasn't our intention, Your Honor.
Well, a civil judgment, what he's saying, I don't know. There's a lot of wishing here, okay? And I'd prefer to see a lot of doing. If we're talking about something where these people are going to be chasing themselves and they'll just be re-victimized again, then maybe what he should do is he should face the music, and whatever the jury does, that's it. That's just a general overview, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
So why don't you see what you can come up with?
What about Mr. Shashu, a restitution hearing, because he's been paying like 45% interest?
Your Honor, I don't agree with that assessment of the interest, to be quite honest with you.
I don't understand.
Your Honor, we have a loan agreement that indicates that it was 20% interest that was supposed to be paid. They have a calculation through a loan calculator that says it's 30% interest, which doesn't make any sense. It's a document that has no verification as to who submitted it.
That's why I wanted Mr. Shashu to justify his $160,000. Mr. Tebbenhoff paid him $80,000 or more.
Your Honor, it's a signed loan agreement by Mr. Tebbenhoff that he owed that principal amount. That's what we're looking at. If he has since made payments, we would give him credit for payments that reduced principal.
How much is the principal amount?
$160,000.
Well, he says he owes it.
Correct, and there's a judgment already on it.
His question is how much is credited against that figure?
That we have to, I could do a loan amortization schedule, it's not a problem, and find out, but I have to verify that these payments actually have gone through. That have gone through. If he shows me checks, that's one thing, but I have to show that those checks haven't bounced. That's one of the problems. I have to reach out to the victim and find out what the actual amount is.
We could agree that there's like 6 victims. We could agree to everybody. Mr. Shashu, I just want a restitution hearing. Even in his grand jury testimony, Mr.
All right,
Shashu.
you know something? If we're going to get into a restitution hearing, we're having a trial date.
That's my feeling as well.
I'll give you 20 minutes to try to work something out.
Yes, sir.
If not, I'm going to set a trial date and that's it.
We're the people.
Good morning, Your Honor. Brian Lynch for the state.
George Surgeon representing Robert R. Tebbenhoff.
Place the defendant under oath.
I do.
State your name, spell your last name.
Robert R. Tebbenhoff, Tebbenhoff.
Prosecutor?
Your Honor, the state would move the plea of Robert Tebbenhoff on indictment number S-130107. Your Honor, it's the state's understanding that the defendant will enter a guilty plea to count 2 and count 5 of the indictment. At sentencing, the state will recommend 5 years non-custodial probation on each count to run concurrent to each other for the probationary term only. Your Honor, should there be a violation of probation, the defendant will be facing consecutive sentences of 5 years each for a total of 10 years. Your Honor, the defendant agrees to make a good faith payment of $10,000 at sentencing. He will in the meantime be seeking full-time employment towards paying restitution the total amount of $341,400. Between now and the date of sentencing, if he can show payments towards that amount to reduce it, we will reduce that amount based on payments that we receive or proof of payments. We will issue a judgment at the date of sentencing, which has the exact totals and will be signed off by the defendant.
Civil judgment.
That's correct, Your Honor. But he will have to make payments during the probationary period.
But the purpose would be the entry of a civil judgment.
Correct, Your Honor.
And given the nature of this offense, it's a criminal action, it would not be dischargeable in bankruptcy.
Correct, Your Honor. In addition, the state agrees not to file any charges regarding anybody on the attached list that is indicated. State versus Robert Tebbenhoff, docket number 14206, entitled Restitution Amount, with all of the respective victims from the date of June 1st, 2004 to April 21st, 2006.
Okay. I have one question. The $10,000, this is money that you have available, you have access to?
It will be money I'll have to go to some people that I know and borrow it from them.
Well, the reason why I ask is that the $10,000 in the scheme of things with the amount of money here, I know it's couched in language of a good faith payment, but the reality is, if you don't come up with the $10,000, what penalty is there? Is it a condition of probation? In other words, that $10,000 really should be paid as a condition of probation.
Yes, Your Honor.
And if that happens, basically, I would sentence him, but you wind up with this